Good afternoon, children.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hmm. Beta, we had done the earlier part. Today we need to revise only this much first. The entire heart from here up to, let me enter, whoever is coming side by side. Fine. This part, only till here. We'll revise quickly. Our heart normally beats 70 to 75 times in a minute. That is, average is 72 beats per minute. Only this much we need to revise. Revise quickly by everything will come from this only, Bacha, NCRT. So study properly. Start reading. Read quickly, beta. Raise your hands. What is your first exam?
English.
English.
Okay. English. Fine. So you'll get 90 minutes for your class and for your exam, bacha. Second and third period, you'll have your exams. We'll start with the second period. That time, in the second and the third period, you'll have your exam. After that, you'll again have your classes. So this is what the schedule is. If you have any queries, you can ask. This chapter we have already done. You just need to go through it once. Okay? Just a quick reading. And when I'll ask questions, we'll be able to relate. It'll be a quick revision for you. Whoever is read, you can raise your hands. One child has raised. 3 participants have raised hands. 4 now. Ayush Gupta, Ayush Patel, and Soham. Do you need more time, beta? Are you there or you are not there also? I need to know
I have
this.
raised my hand.
Acha, you're there. It should not be that I'm waiting for you and then you're not there. Okay, dear, I'm waiting. Hurry up. Just 2 minutes more. Just 1 minute more. Hurry up, hurry up. Tell me now, what did you read about? Which organ have you read about just now?
Heart.
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 You read about the heart. Very good. Which heart? Human heart or some other heart?
Human heart.
Human heart.
Name the muscles from which the heart is made.
Cardiac muscles.
Cardiac muscles.
Cardiac muscles.
Beta, which walls are thicker, ventricles or atria walls?
Ventricles.
Ventricles.
walls.
Okay, very important. Specialized cardiac musculature, which is called DASH, is distributed in the heart. What is it called?
Nodal tissue.
Nodal tissue.
Nodal tissue.
Good. Okay. A patch of this nodal tissue present in the right upper corner of the right atrium is called
Sinoatrial node.
Sinoatrial node.
and similarly a part of this nodal tissue which is seen in the lower left corner of the right atrium close to the atrioventricular septum. What is that called?
AV node.
AVN.
Okay. Out of SAN and AVN, which of them develop maximum number of action potentials?
SAN.
SAN. Yes, SAN.
SAN.
How many times in 1 minute?
70 to 75.
70
to 75.
times.
70 to 75. What is called as the pacemaker of the heart?
Sinoatrial node.
Sinoatrial node.
Our heart normally beats how many times in a minute?
72
72
times.
to 72.
Okay. Which musculature has the ability to generate action potentials without external stimuli? Which one? Which?
Nodal musculature.
Very good. It is the nodal musculature. Good, good. Very good. It is the nodal musculature. The SAN can generate maximum number of action potentials. How many times in a minute?
70 to 75 times.
70 to 75 times.
Good, bache. Out of AVN and SAN, which is responsible for initiating and maintaining the rhythmic contractile activity of the heart?
SAN.
SAN.
So you got a lot of questions from this. Entire heart is made up of which muscles?
Cardiac muscles.
Cardiac muscles.
Which walls are thicker?
Ventricles.
Walls of
What?
ventricles. Ventricle walls.
Cardiac musculature called DASH is distributed in the heart.
Nodal musculature.
Nodal musculature.
And a mass of tissue seen in the lower left corner of the right atrium. What is it called? Lower left corner.
AVN.
AVN.
Called AVN. What is the full form of
AVN?
AVN?
Atrioventricular node.
Atrioventricular node.
Out of AVN and SAN, which develops or generates maximum number of action potentials?
SAN.
Node.
Our heart beats how many times in a minute?
72 times.
70 to 75 times.
Very good, very good. Now, next one, beta. Very important. Branches which give rise to minute fibers. I'm talking about the minute fibers throughout the ventricular musculature are called DASH fibers. What fibers are they?
Purkinje fibers.
Purkinje fibers.
What is the spelling, beta?
P-U-R-K-I-N-G-E.
Kinge.
Yes, P-U-R-K-I-N-J-E. Because if the spelling is wrong in one word answers, you lose your marks unnecessarily. So whenever you come across a word where the spelling is a little typical, revise the spelling also. Okay. Now we need to do this. Charlie, let's read. Though you must be having NCERT books also with you, if you don't find it clear. Pressure causing the closure of tricuspid from here. Let's read up to stroke volume, only up to stroke volume. Beta, once you finish, let me know, children. You have to just be careful when you're reading. Same thing, whoever finishes reading, raise your hands. 3 people have already done. I'm waiting for others. Now how many? Still 3. Now we have a good number of hands raised. 6 of them. I think we can start with the revisions. Let me hide. Don't worry, beta, it's not a test, it's a simple revision. When you'll do with me, you'll automatically learn. Chalo, I've hidden it. Now we'll start revising. Again, remember, it's basically just revision. Okay, let's start with this. Let me ask you from what I did in the previous part. Heart is made up of which muscles?
Cardiac
Cardiac
muscles.
muscle.
Cardiac muscles.
Okay. Out of SAN and AVN, which generates 70 to 75 minutes potentials, action potentials?
Stan.
Then
So you remember this word? That's nice. What about those fibers, minute fibers through the musculature of respective sides? What were they called?
Purkinje fibers.
Purkinje fibers.
Okay. When all the four chambers of the heart are in a relaxed state, that condition is called?
Joint diastole.
Joint diastole.
Joint diastole.
Very good. It is called as the joint diastole. Let's move on further. It will be a kind of revision, bache. Now both the walls open. Which two walls?
Tricuspid and bicuspid.
Tricuspid and bicuspid.
Bicuspid wall.
Bicuspid walls.
Okay. So blood will flow from the pulmonary veins and dash into the left and the right ventricle respectively. From the pulmonary vein, you know, it will go to the left ventricle. And from where it will come to the right ventricle?
Vena cava.
Which? Yes, it is vena cava. Beta, we need to revise this again. Come on. Both the walls are opening. So the blood is going to come from the pulmonary veins into the left ventricle and from the vena cava into the right ventricle. Remember that. Okay. Now these walls close after this. After the blood reaches the right ventricle and the left ventricle, these valves, they close. Name the valves.
Tricuspid and bicuspid wall.
Tricuspid wall.
Tricuspid
and
wall.
bicuspid wall.
Okay. Now, one out of SAN and AVN will generate the action potential. Which one? SAN or AVN?
Sen.
Sen.
So this contraction will increase the flow of blood in the ventricles by how much percent? How much percent will it increase? Did we read this? 30%. Yes, very good. How much percent, everybody?
30%.
30%.
Okay, remember this. It's how much percent? It is 30%.
30%.
Which systole increases the ventricular pressure? Atricular systole or ventricular systole? Which systole increases the ventricular pressure? Is it the atricular systole or is it the ventricular systole? Not sure. Any guesses?
Ventricular pressure.
Yes, Vita, it is ventricular. I think you need to read this. Only this part first. Just do this much only. Just this. How does the heart tell? Ventricular systole. Revise this again. Let me ask. Only one paragraph at a time. Just one paragraph. Once we are done, let me know. Two hands raised. Never mind others. Now 3, Now good number. I think we should start. Fine. Basically, you have read about the structure of the heart or the functioning of the heart in this paragraph, beta?
Functioning of the heart.
Functioning.
Yes, we are doing about functioning. I agree. That is why I picked up this chapter, because from every sentence, you generally have a question with. So let's revise this very quickly. Okay. To begin with the cardiac cycle, all the 4 chambers are in what state? Relaxed or contract?
Relaxed.
Relaxed state.
Relaxed.
Relaxed state. And such a condition is known as
Joint
diastole.
joint diastole. So we are starting when
Diastole.
all are in relaxed state, and then this is the joint diastole. After the joint diastole, these walls, they open. Which walls?
Bicuspid and
Bicuspid and tricuspid.
Tricuspid and bicuspid. So the blood from the pulmonary veins goes into which ventricle? Pulmonary vein. It goes into which ventricle? Left ventricle.
ventricle.
Left ventricle.
Left. And the blood from the vena cava will enter which ventricle?
Right
Right
ventricle.
ventricle.
Fine. Now, which one, SAN or AVN, will generate an action potential?
SAN.
SAN.
Fine. So, because of the action potential generated by SAN, the flow of blood into the ventricles increases by how much percent?
30%.
30%.
Yes, by 30%. And let's move further. Let me ask you the next question. From where should I ask you? Action potential is conducted to the ventricular side by dash and dash.
AVN and
potential,
AV
yes.
bundle.
Very good. AVN and AV bundle.
AV
So
bundle.
very quickly, children, we started with all the 4 chambers of the heart in relaxed condition. What was they called as this condition?
Joint diastole.
Joint diastole.
After that, both the walls open. Which walls?
Tricuspid and
Tricuspid,
bicuspid and
tricuspid.
Very quickly. Name the vessel which brings the blood into the left ventricle.
Pulmonary vein.
Pulmonary vein.
Pulmonary vein. And the vessel which makes the blood enter into the right ventricle?
Vena cava.
Inferior and inferior vena cava.
So once the blood enters the ventricles, which walls are closed?
Bicuspid and tricuspid wall.
Yes. Okay. The contraction of atria is called as?
Atrial systole.
Excellent. It is atrial systole. Contraction of atria is called as?
Atrial systole.
Atrial systole.
Beta, remember, this is known as atrial systole. Now, because of this atrial systole, the flow of blood in the ventricles increases by how much percent?
30%.
30%.
So, action potential is conducted to the ventricular side by dash and dash.
AVN and AV bundle.
AVN.
Atrioventral node and atrioventral bundle.
When ventricular muscles contract, what is it called?
Ventricular systole.
Yes. Contraction of atria is called what, children?
Atrial systole.
Atrial systole. And
Systole.
contraction of ventricles is called?
Ventricular.
Ventricular systole.
Ventricle.
Fishes have how many chambered heart? Let me see.
2-chambered heart.
2-chambered heart.
Huh? Okay. The heart is protected by a double-walled membranous bag, which is called?
Pericardium.
Pericardium.
Okay, very good. The opening between the right atrium and the right ventricle is guarded by a wall which is made up of dash muscular flaps. 3 or 2? Right atrium, right ventricle. How many muscular cusps? Tricuspid or bicuspid? Right atrium, right ventricle. Which valve is there? Bicuspid or tricuspid, beta?
Bicuspid.
Bicuspid.
No, beta. Hmm? Getting confused here? Chalo, never mind. Do this part again. You should know which one it is. The fluid present in the lymphatic system is called?
Lymph.
Lymph.
Yes, it's called as lymph.
Lymph.
I hope you remember this. What is it called? It is called as?
Lymph.
Lymph.
Dash are formed by the conversion of inactive fibrinogens in the plasma. Inactive fibrinogen is? What is it? Inactive fibrinogen is called what? Fibrin. What is it called? It's called fibrin.
Fibrin.
RBC's average lifespan is?
120 days. 120 days.
Yes, it is 120 days. Okay, tell me which one. What is the color of leukocytes?
They are colorless.
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 Okay. Proteins contribute how much percent of blood plasma? Proteins contribute
To 8%.
6 to 8%.
8%.
8%.
Very good. Very good. Next one. Dash are needed for clotting or coagulation of blood. What are needed?
Fibrinogen.
Fibrinogens. Very good. What
Fibrin.
are needed?
Fibrinogen.
Fibrinogens.
Fibrinogens.
Okay. Platelets are also called? What is the other name of platelets?
Thrombocytes.
Very good.
Thrombocytes.
Lovely. What are platelets called? Thrombocytes.
Thrombocytes.
Okay.
Thrombocyte.
This shows that we need to keep on revising, keep on reading the chapter again and again. They're called as thrombocytes. Okay, fine. Let's do this. Sequential event in the heart, which is cyclical, repeated, is called the cardiac cycle. Let's start. Let's read. Abhi, Let's see how many are done. 2 only. Chalo, never mind, I'll wait. Now how many beta? Let's see. 5. It's complicating, confusing. Chalo, 6. Fine. Let me start. Because once we'll start, you'll get the revision automatically done. Fine. Sequential event in which heart is cyclically repeated is called?
Cardiac cycle.
Cardiac cycle.
Cardiac cycle.
Yes. Very good. It is called as the cardiac cycle. So, cardiac cycle consists of what beta? Dash and dash basically?
Systole and
Systole and
diastole.
diastole. Systole and
Systole
diastole.
and diastole.
Systole and
Very good.
diastole.
The heart beats how many times per minute?
72 times.
72
72
times.
times per
72
minute.
times.
So, how many cardiac cycles per minute?
72 cycles.
72 cycles. Very good. Now tell me this one. The duration of the cardiac cycle in seconds. How much is it?
0.8.
0.8 seconds.
0.8 seconds.
0.8 seconds.
Better don't get confused there that how many times and the duration of one cardiac cycle in seconds. There, please don't get confused. How many seconds is it the duration of one cardiac cycle?
0.8
0.8 seconds.
Very important paragraph it is. Now, during a cardiac cycle, each ventricle pumps out approximately how many milliliters of blood?
70
ml.
liter of blood.
70
72.
ml. Okay. The other way the question possible is, during a cardiac cycle, the ventricle pumps out blood. The amount of blood pumped out by the ventricle is called dash volume. What volume is it?
Stroke volume.
Stroke volume. Very good again. During a cardiac cycle, each ventricle, the amount of blood pumped out by each ventricle is called as dash volume. What volume?
Stroke volume.
Stroke volume.
Stroke volume. Stroke volume multiplied by
Volume.
the heart rate gives us the dash output.
Cardiac.
Output.
Cardiac output. Okay. Now again, give me one word answer only. Let's have this. The volume of blood pumped out by each ventricle per minute.
5 liters.
What is it called as? What is the definition? This is the definition of what? The volume of blood pumped out by each ventricle per minute.
Cardiac output.
Cardiac
Yes,
output.
it is cardiac output. So cardiac output on an average is how many milliliters in a healthy individual?
5,000.
5,000 milliliters.
5,000 milliliters. And if I ask you in liters in a healthy individual, then how many liters?
5
5
liters.
liters.
Okay, very good. It's 5 liters. Good, good. Now, very quickly, once again, we are going to have the sequential event in the heart, which is cyclically repeated, is called
Cardiac cycle.
Cardiac cycle.
Cardiac
Okay.
cycle.
Cardiac cycle.